complex and protracted conflict deeply embedded in societal structures. To move beyond this conflict, there is a need for a fundamental rethinking of gender relations, one that recognizes the equal and complementary roles of both sexes. Addressing the challenges to women's solidarity and overcoming the deeply entrenched patriarchal norms are essential steps toward achieving true gender equality and harmony. The relationship between men and women has historically evolved into a protracted and seemingly intractable conflict. This conflict, rooted in the fundamental sexual duality of the human species, has become a source of deep division, shaping the very fabric of society. This article explores the complexities of the man-woman relationship through a feminist lens, highlighting the socio-political dynamics that have perpetuated gender inequality and conflict. The nature of the man-woman conflict. Humanity, as a sexually dimorphic species, has struggled to reconcile the inherent differences between the sexes. This failure to achieve mutual understanding has led both men and women to define their sexual identities as core aspects of their being, often engaging in identity politics and gender politics against one another. This dynamic neglects the essential unity of humanity, which comprises both womankind and mankind. The oppression of women is a deeply entrenched social conflict, one in which women, often unconsciously, participate against their own interests. This conflict is foundational to many societal issues, serving as the mother of all evils. Men and women are different, yet complementary, and they should not be viewed as adversaries, but as two integral aspects of a unified human identity. Unfortunately, societal structures often juxtapose the sexes in opposition to one another. The role of repressive and ideological apparatuses, RSA and RIA. Men have historically dominated the repressive state apparatuses, RSA, and ideological apparatuses, RIA, including religion, art, literature, science, the economy, and other social institutions. As a result, women have been systematically excluded from representation at all levels of society. This male dominance perpetuates a patriarchal system that fails to address the needs and rights of both sexes equitably, patriarchal ideology and gendered otherness. Simone de Beauvoir famously argued that throughout history, woman has been constructed as man's other and denied access to an autonomous existence. Men have positioned themselves as the universal subject, relegating women to a marginalized status, thereby structuring society to perpetuate patriarchal ideology. This persistent ideology has led men to assume a right to dominate women, who have often internalized and adapted to this subordinate position. The private sphere and gender-based violence, gendered violence and discrimination. Much of the harm inflicted upon women occurs within the private sphere, a domain largely immune to public legal and justice systems. The patriarchal relationship of domination and subordination within the family is replicated in the public sphere, manifesting in double moral standards and discriminatory practices at the workplace. Women are often victims of spousal abuse, marital rape, and other forms of violence, with societal norms frequently blaming the victim rather than the perpetrator. Women's economic and social marginalization. Despite constituting half of the world's population, women do not share equally in global resources. They are disproportionately represented among the bottom of the pyramid, BOP, populations marginalized both economically and socially. Additionally, women are often silenced by men and denied access to media and public platforms. Women as reproductive and social agents. Reproductive roles and patriarchal expectations. Women are often viewed primarily as childbearers, responsible for producing offspring to serve the needs of men in wars, workplaces, and other social structures. Failure to fulfill these reproductive roles often leads to ostracism and blame. John Zerzan argues that civilization, at its core, is a history of the domination of nature and women, with patriarchy serving as a means to rule over both. This domination extends to a devaluation of women and nature alike. Gender and race as structures of domination. Simon During posits that while political economy focuses on class as the key structure of domination, cultural studies recognize gender and race as alternative structures of domination, independent of class dynamics. Women, therefore, face the dual challenges of resisting both class-based and gender-based oppression, challenges to women's solidarity, fragmentation, and lack of sisterhood. One of the major obstacles to women's solidarity is the fragmentation along lines of class, caste, ethnicity, and race. Women are embedded within a patriarchal social order that compels them to align with men against other women, even within their own families and communities. This lack of unity prevents the formation of a cohesive sisterhood capable of challenging male domination. Women are often victims of genetic nepotism, prioritizing the welfare of their own children over solidarity with other women. This competitive behavior extends to mate selection, where women compete to attract and appease men, often reinforcing patriarchal norms in the process. Naomi Wolf discusses how the beauty myth is used to divide women and maintain male dominance. Objectification and powerlessness. Women have been conditioned to act as objects in their relationships with men, often seeking validation through male attention. This objectification is a result of centuries of patriarchal domination, which has left women acutely aware of their powerlessness. Jessica Benjamin argues that women must move from being objects of desire to subjects who desire, recognizing their own structural power.